If you do not know how to be happy now, you will not be happy when you finally have what you think you need to be so. That sentence struck me like lightning the first time I heard it, because for a long time I was also a prisoner of the illusion that happiness lived in the future, that it would arrive with a perfect relationship, a personal achievement, or simply when everything in my life finally fell into place. But time passed, and I discovered something I want to tell you from the heart. Happiness does not arrive when your life changes. Happiness arrives when you change the way you live your life. Maybe right now you are struggling with anxiety, or you feel emotionally dependent on someone in order to feel okay. And believe me, you are not alone. All of us have felt that knot in the chest, that sense of emptiness when the world seems unable to understand us. But today we're going to walk together, not to cover the pain, but to transform it. Because you and I can choose something different. We can choose the happy side of life. Many years ago, in a Zen monastery in Australia, a young disciple asked his teacher, "Master, when will I be happy?" The old man smiled gently, closed his eyes, and replied, "When you learn to stop waiting for something else to arrive." That story has always stayed with me, because we live waiting for someone to love us, waiting for anxiety to disappear, waiting for the day when our mind finally stops running like a wild horse. I lived that way too, trapped in a labyrinth of thoughts, until I understood that happiness is not something you find. It is something you choose, not as an emotion, but as a habit, a way of seeing the world. And that is where the teachings I want to share with you today come in. Teachings that do not come from me, but from ancient sages, from Buddha, who understood human suffering better than anyone, from Yogananda, who taught how the soul can free itself from attachments, from Sadhguru, who reminds us that everything is energy, and even from Tesla, who said that the key lies in the frequency you choose each day. Get ready, because what you're about to hear today may change the way you see life, not because it will tell you something new, but because it will remind you of what your soul already knows. The human mind is like a monkey, and not just any monkey, but a restless, impatient one that jumps from branch to branch without rest. There is an ancient Buddhist legend that impacted me deeply the first time I read it. It tells of a monkey locked inside a temple. It was fed, it was cared for, but it never stopped moving. It climbed the columns, struck the bowls, hung from the ceilings, until one day an elderly monk watched it in silence for hours without saying a word. Then he said to it, "You are not trapped in a cage, you are trapped in yourself." That is our mind. We move endlessly, from thought to thought, from worry to worry. The past accuses us, the future makes us anxious, and we ignore the present. Buddha said, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." And that phrase is not poetry, it is science. Tesla affirmed that everything in the universe is vibration, and your thoughts are a frequency. If you think with anxiety, you emit anxiety. If you think with calm, you begin to attract calm. Still, I'm not here to speak to you only about ideas. I will give you practices, real things you can do today to change your frequency. Small daily rituals have the power to heal what the noise of the world steals from us. Sometimes all you need is a brief moment of awareness to return to yourself. Take 5 minutes every night, just 5. And make a mental inventory of everything you are grateful for that day. It does not matter if it was a good day or not. There is always something: a greeting, a warm meal, a smile, a breath. Gratitude rewires the mind because the brain cannot hold gratitude and anxiety at the same time. And when you choose gratitude, you are training the monkey to stay still. Pause every 3 hours. Stop whatever you are doing. Close your eyes. Inhale deeply. Feel the air enter. And exhale softly as if you were releasing an invisible burden. Do this for 60 seconds. Just that. Over time, you will see how your mind begins to obey you. Not through force, but through presence. Dear friend, you may think all of this sounds too simple, or dosh. But true wisdom is simple. We are just so used to living in complexity that we forget what peace feels like. Anxiety is not your enemy. It is only a messenger telling you something in you wants to return to the center. And that center is not far away. It is within you. And we are going to find it. Let me ask you a simple but profound question. Have you ever felt that without a certain person, you could not be happy? That if they did not reply to a message, did not call you, did not look at you the way you expected, something inside you broke? I have too. And for a long time, I believed that was love, that loving meant needing, that missing someone was proof of affection. But I was wrong. I discovered something hard, but liberating. Emotional dependence is not love. It is fear in disguise. Fear of being alone. Fear of not being enough on my own. Fear of looking inside and discovering that maybe I lacked self-love. And that was when Yogananda's words shook my soul. Attachment destroys love. Freedom strengthens it. We think that loving means clinging, but in reality, truly loving is allowing the other to be, and allowing ourselves to be whole even if the other leaves. Sometimes the most luminous people are also the ones who have silenced their pain the longest. And when they finally dare to look inward, the true journey toward freedom begins. I knew Claire, a wonderful woman, gentle, generous, but broken inside. Claire had spent years in a toxic relationship. Her partner was cold, indifferent, absent, and yet she stayed, waiting for a change, a gesture, a sign of love. One day, during a conversation, I asked her just one question. And if tomorrow he disappeared, would you still be you? Claire fell silent because the answer tore her apart. She did not know. She had lived so much to please him, to be seen, that she had forgotten herself. But that day she decided to begin a path inward. She began to walk alone, to write what she felt, to make decisions without asking permission. And over time what looked like dependence transformed into freedom. Today Claire smiles not because she has a new partner. She smiles because she has a new version of herself. One that does not depend, one that chooses. And that, dear friend, that is love. The words you say to yourself at the beginning of the day have the power to shape the way you think, feel, and act. Planting intentions every morning can slowly transform the way you live. That is why. For the next 21 days, every morning when you wake up, repeat quietly or in your mind, I do not seek outside what I already am inside. Do it as if you were planting an invisible seed within yourself. Over time you will see how that seed blooms into self-worth. Being with yourself should not be synonymous with loneliness, but with reunion, in personal silence, far from the noise of the world. We often discover forgotten parts of who we are. That is why, once a week, do something completely alone. Go to the movies, eat at your favorite place, walk without a destination. Do it without looking at your phone, without seeking distraction, just you with yourself. That wise teacher from ancient Egypt who taught the principles of spiritual creation said, what is inside is outside. What is outside is inside. What you do not see in yourself, you will seek in another and lose yourself. And that is how it is. Let me tell you this from the soul. You do not have to stay where you are not loved. You do not have to beg for what should be given freely. You are enough. And when you accept that, the world begins to treat you the way you treat yourself. Because yes, you teach others how to treat you. And everything begins when you stop seeking approval and start living with truth. Do you want me to tell you a secret? Sometimes the best thing that can happen to you is not that someone arrives, but that you return to yourself. I will tell you something that transformed my life. Happiness is not a feeling, it is a practice. And when you practice joy every day, even if the world is in chaos, you're at peace. For years I thought I had to wait to feel happy in order to be happy. But I was walking the path backward, because the wise do not wait for joy to arrive in order to act with gratitude. They act with gratitude, and joy arrives. Sadhguru says it with strength and clarity. If you can create the climate you desire in your mind, emotions, and body, your health, your joy, and your well-being will be assured. And he is right. Because if you can create a day of anxiety in your head, you can also create one of serenity. The difference lies in what you choose to cultivate. Sometimes life takes everything from us without warning, and we are left naked before pain, not knowing what to do. But it is precisely there that the wisest souls bloom. In an Australian monastery, a young monk lost everything during an invasion. His village was destroyed, his family separated, his sacred books burned. But when they found him days later, they saw him sitting before the mountains, smiling. An elder approached him and asked, "Why do you smile if you have lost everything?" The young monk replied calmly, "Because I still have what matters most. I breathe. And as long as I breathe, I can begin again." That story follows me every time I drown in what I lack, because it reminds me that everything, absolutely everything, can begin again if my soul chooses the light. Happiness does not depend on what I have. It depends on what I choose to look at. And as a Japanese photographer once said, a happy life is like a camera. Focus on what matters. Delete what is unnecessary. And if something does not turn out well, try again with a different light. There are small practices that transform large parts of our lives. And one of them is learning to remember the good. Because in the midst of noise, what is written with gratitude remains. I suggest that you buy a notebook. Call it Happy Moments. Every day before going to sleep, write down just one thing that gave you peace, joy, or tenderness. It can be a conversation, a meal, a flower, a laugh. This exercise trains your mind to look for the good. And when you look for it, you find it. because what you focus on grows, and the way you end the day shapes the way you wake up the next one. That is why ending with a peaceful thought can completely change your rest and your inner energy. At the end of the day, repeat softly with your eyes closed, "Today, I choose to remember the good." It does not matter how the day was. If you choose to end it in gratitude, your mind will begin to close cycles with peace. Now I want you to take a moment for yourself. Let us do something together, a brief guided meditation. Gently close your eyes, release your shoulders, relax your face, breathe deeply through your nose, and slowly exhale through your mouth. Do it once more. Inhale, feel how the air enters like light. Exhale, and with that breath release what you do not need to carry. Now bring your attention to your chest. Imagine a warm golden light growing in the center of your chest. That light is you. Repeat silently with me. I am at peace. I am whole. Happiness already lives within me. Again, I am at peace. I am whole. Happiness already lives within me. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, release all tension. Remain for a moment in silence. When you are ready, open your eyes and return. Being more yourself than ever, there are symbols that hold deep truths, and one of the most powerful is born in silence. Between mud and stillness, its message has inspired entire generations to bloom in the midst of adversity. Do you know how a lotus is born? It is born in the swamp, in the mud, in the least expected place, and yet it blooms. Its beauty does not depend on clean water or a perfect environment. The lotus does not smell of mud, it smells of sky, because its essence is inside, not in what surrounds it. So are you. Your happiness does not depend on your environment, it depends on what you cultivate within. And if this video reached you, it was not by chance. It is your soul reminding you that you already have what you need to be happy. You just have to remember it. You just have to choose it. Thank you for staying until the end. Leave us a comment with your favorite part.